Hey guys, Ellie Showstack here. Hope you are doing well. Hope you are doing awesome. And you're having a wonderful day. So, I work with singles from all over the world to help them get into and maintain healthy, loving relationships. And one of the ways that I help them is understand what their goals are when it comes to their love lives. Okay. Now, I often hear from people and from those who I interact with that when you look at dating in today's day and age, sorry, when you look at dating in today's day and age, one of the biggest concerns that people have is this concept of, well, when you go on one of these apps, then usually the reason why guys go on these apps is for sex, and the reason why girls go on these apps is to get into a relationship, and I'm not actually getting what I want from these apps. Okay, which is a very, very huge concern and makes a lot of sense. Okay, so that's one concern that people have. The major concern that people have is safety, of just being physically safe, of meeting up with these people, with strangers. And I know a lot of these apps, they give you all these safety tips, and this is what you can do, this is what you should do, and what should not do. And definitely follow those guidelines because you want to be physically safe. But it's interesting because for those of you who do not know my background, so I was in the single world for 11 years when I was dating. This was pre-apps, pre-Tinder, pre-OkCupid, and just your regular phone. There was some texting involved. And then I was able to get into a relationship and maintain that relationship for 18 years, okay? And the principles that I use in my life of how I went from being single to being married, both as a human being, and also I was a clinical social worker prior to becoming a coach. These principles that I use, I help clients go from this transformation of being quote unquote single into getting into a healthy and loving relationship. And what a lot of people will tell me when they see my posts and they see my advice, they'll say something along the lines of, well, you don't understand because you're from the age that's pre-Tinder and that's pre-Hinge and pre-Bumble and pre-Plenty of Fish and pre-OkCupid. You're too ancient. And what I say to that is that might be so in terms of the actual strategy of getting onto a date and getting into a relationship. But where things are very much the same is the interaction between two human beings and how a person's mind is able to function in a relationship, a love relationship. That has pretty much stayed the same. And what I mean by that is that when you are able to define what it is that you want in your love life, then you look at strategies and ways to get you on to the relationship that you want to be in. Okay? So yes, all of these dating apps, okay, and everyone has their own like differences, right? Some is for people will say, oh, this is just completely for hookups, or this is completely for for guys or for girls. Whatever it is, these are all strategies that a healthy individual going into a relationship can use if they know what the end goal is for themselves, right? where the reason why you hear all these complaints and you hear all of these people being upset and I hate this and I hate that and the reason why this doesn't work and that doesn't work, the reason why is because when you're confused of who you are and what you want in a relationship, then these dating apps can only drive you to be more insane when it comes to dating, because there's 9 million choices, right? So you're swiping, oh yeah, match, you're going into it confused. So the products that come out of your confusion, okay, the actions and the consequences that come out of your mind frame of being confused, it's going to reflect the attitude and the consciousness that you put into it, right? But what I work on with my clients is understanding in the Find the Right One coaching program, and I call it Find the Right One because the right one, the world thinks is somebody else. When I find the right one, oh my gosh, when I go on these apps and I swipe, oh, finally, I found the right one, right? The right one is not in the phone. The right one is you. You are the right one. When you have a healthy mind frame and a confident mind frame of being who you are, then and only then can you approach a strategy of a dating app to be able to say, okay, what is it that I'm looking for? What is it that I'm looking for? Now, it could be that the dating app might provide you with an intro to meeting someone. But once you do that, right, and you have that introduction, at that point, if your end goal is healthy, loving, kind relationship, and you go back to the dating apps to keep swiping, the mind's like, I got to find somebody better, find somebody better, then you're still confused. Do you get what I'm saying? And if you're confused and you're not clear on who you are and what you want, you will wind up going into the relationship with that same type of confusion. So where I differ from many of the relationship coaches out there or the dating coaches, first of all, I'm not a dating coach. I'm just a coach, okay? And I'm looking at the whole human being when it comes to getting them into, I just don't want to get them into a relationship. I want them to be able to have the skill set and the mind frame to maintain healthy, loving relationships. So you need to understand that before you go on any of these apps, because if you do, then you will be one of the people online who complain all day about these apps and how horrible they are. And the truth is that if you're confused and you're not sure what you want, they could be horrible for you, or they could be fun, right? I'm not judging them as being good or bad. They are a strategy, a technique for people to meet one another. Whatever their goals are, right? Everyone has different goals in the back of their mind of what is it. Now, what you will hear often among people, what you will hear often is this whole sense of all guys are like this. They want this on this app. All girls want this on this app, okay? And I stay away from generalizations, because what generalizations are, they put you in a defensive position of you against the world, right? The reason why I am not in a healthy relationship is because all guys are, okay? The reason why I'm not in a healthy relationship is because all girls are. And it's not true. But your mind does this in order to prevent you from pain. And since the mind doesn't want you to get into pain, you're going to go ahead and continue down the path of making these generalizations, saying that all these apps are horrific and bad and this and that, when you go ahead and you use them. So people are saying how horrible they are, and then they're later on the phone swiping, and then they feel bad because they're doing something that they say is horrible, right? This is horrible. These never work. This is disgusting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Oh, this is terrible. All men are horrible. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All women are. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you're telling the world that this is horrific, and yet you're doing it. So you feel bad about doing it, and then you go ahead and continue to do it anyways, because there is that biological need of wanting to be with another human, right? So that makes sense. We have that desire. We want to spend time with someone else. We want to be with someone else. Well, what are those needs? Is it a physical need? Is it an emotional need? Is it a spiritual need? Is it whatever it is, you need to take a step back and really begin to work on your mind frame before you approach these apps. So if this video made sense to you and provided you with some insight into the world of dating, go ahead and like it, share it. And if you want to learn more about my coaching program, Find the Right One for Singles, we're seeing incredible success with the people who have joined. Go ahead and message me and we'll schedule a time to talk. All the best, guys. Have a great day.